Welcome to the Thundercloud, and the Thundercloud's very own Sage broke a signing today in baseball, of all sports. He informed everybody in the whole wide world that Eugenio Suarez was signing a 1 year deal with the Cincinnati Reds worth $15 million with an option, mutual option in year two for I believe 17 million, 16 or 17, I think is what $16 million. So Sage, thank you for breaking that first. You really showed up Jeff Passan on that one. So good work there. Bit of a thunder bomb right there, I'd say for sure. But on a serious note, this is a good signing, I think, for Cincinnati, who I mean, they didn't have a terrible year last year, actually. They've got some young players, young pitching. Sage is always on the pulse. I will say that, a lot of the times he's reporting stuff to me. Like, yeah, I already knew that. I already knew that. When in reality, I had no fucking idea. And I don't always give him the credit that he's due. But that's because I want him to think that there is a beat writer out there that's ahead of him at all times. So that he keeps working, so that he keeps working that wrench the way he's supposed to. That's why I do it. It's for motivation. It's not to show you up. It's not to show you up. It's to inspire you. That's what we do here at the Thunderclass. We inspire people. Okay? But yeah, I mean, this is a good signing. Cincinnati squeaked into a wild card spot last year. Remember when the Mets lost to the Marlins, I think last game of the season? They were the sixth seed, and then they got swept by the LA Dodgers. So they had an 83-79 record, and their run differential was plus 35. And obviously, looks like pitching is one of their big problems, but it doesn't hurt to add a guy, that can hit 49 home runs. I mean, that's what Suarez hit last year. His batting line last year was not overly great. I mean, he's 34 years old. Average was down to 28, so that's definitely cause for concern there. On base was only 298, but the slugging was 526. So, I mean, it's a damn good slugging. I do expect those numbers to regress this season, but this has kind of been the story of his career, 1 year a bit up, 1 year a bit down. He's kind of been all over the map for his career, so I don't think it's necessarily a decline coming. And even if a decline comes, you're paying $15 million for 1 year. You can just pivot off of it if it doesn't work out. I still think he's going to have 30, 35 home runs next year. I mean, it's a very hitter-friendly ballpark. So I'm excited to see what he does with Cincinnati in that ballpark. Might be another late-round flyer that might pan out for a certain GM named, I don't know, the Thunder God, also known as myself. But it's actually going to be a real fun team to watch next year. If you kind of look at their roster right now, they've got, and I'll just give you like their age. I'm not going to give you their entire stats, but let's just kind of go through like what their starting lineup looks to be. So TJ Friedel, center fielder, 30 years old. Projected on Fangraphs. All the projections are going to be from Fangraphs, so I'm not going to say Fangraphs one more fucking time. Projected for a 717 OPS. It's not bad for a center fielder, to be honest with you. Now, I don't really like Noel V. Marte's projection. He's 24 years old, projected for a 718 OPS. I think that's very low. I had Noel V. Marte last year after I traded Eugenio Suarez. It was one of the reasons why I could make that trade, if you remember there. He had a 748 OPS, so I mean, I think he's going to probably take a bit of a step forward there. He's got a little pop in the bat too, 14 home runs in half a season, so not a bad little ball player there. We all know Ellie De La Cruz, 24-year-old for the Reds, plays shortstop. I mean, projected for a 797 OPS, so can't complain about that. Surprised none of the projections are for over 800 OPS, but generally projections tend to be on the safe side. They err on the side of caution, that sort of thing. Suarez, they've got him penciled in for 737 OPS with a WAR reduction. That's kind of where I would probably have it too. Like anywhere from 730 to 740 is probably where I would have it as well. A pretty young player here, Sal Stewart. I think people are maybe a little concerned that Eugenio Suarez is going to cut into Sal Stewart's playing time. He's 22 years old and 55 at-bats last year. Had a pretty damn good season, had an 839 OPS, so one of their top prospects. I just think they'll probably put him over at first base, would be my guess, and let Suarez DH or something. I don't know, unless they want to put him at third. I don't think Suarez can really play very good on the field anymore, though. But yeah, they got this guy projected for a 768 OPS, so this might be a guy to actually watch for a late round fantasy pick, I would say. Now, behind the dish, they got Tyler Stevenson. I mean, for a catcher, I'll take a 711 OPS. Nothing wrong with that. J.J. Bleday, I guess, is projected to play left field. Projected for a 741 OPS. Seems a little higher than I probably would have it, but it is what it is. Matt McLean, projected for a 709 OPS, second baseman. And then Cabrian Hayes, I think he's a great defender. Projected only for a 655 OPS, so only really one hitter on the team where you're like, this guy's absolute dog shit. But on the bench, you've got Spencer Steer, who can play infield and outfield, projected for a 732 OPS, as well as Will Benson, outfielder, projected for a 724 OPS. So pretty good options, and they might have a little bit of versatility with Sal Stewart, Eugenio Suarez, Cabrian Hayes, to maybe fuck around, and Spencer Steer to fuck around at third base if need be, to get a little bit more bat in the lineup when they need to. And let's not, I said their pitching was a bit of a problem last year, but let's not forget, I believe Hunter Green missed a ton of time, and Hunter Green, when he pitches, looked like he was rounding into an ace. They're going to project for a 3.73 ERA. I actually think Hunter Green will be better than that. The guy throws gas. I mean, he's a hell of a pitcher to watch. And then you got Andrew Abbott, projected for a 4.17 ERA. Brady Singer, projected for a 4.37. Nick Lodaloo, who I used to be extremely high on, projected for a 4.13 ERA. And then finally, Chase Burns, a young stud as well, who throws extremely hard, projected for a 3.75 ERA. So probably by the end of the year, you're probably going to be looking at Hunter Green and Chase Burns as your top two starters if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. And I think this team, they might lack some upside in terms of having a real big bat, like an overall bat, but well-balanced lineup. I like their starting staff. Not really familiar a whole lot with their relievers, so I'm not really going to go over them. I think they did make a couple moves in the offseason to, patch it up a little bit, but I like what they did. I think they made a smart signing. They added to a roster, and definitely could see them in the fight for the wild card, but I don't think they're going to get in with 83 wins. I think this year they're going to have to at least have, I don't even think 85 is going to get them in. They're going to have upper 80s, I think, to get in, because I do think the Mets are going to improve. But again, like the move, there's no risk at all. You're getting a guy that just hit 50 fucking home runs, so where's the risk there? That is really all we have for baseball news that I'm aware of, unless you want to talk about like Jose Siri signing a minor league deal with the fucking Angels. I don't care about that shit. Unless it's the Blue Jays, do not give a shit. NFL news, do have a couple things. The 49ers replaced Robert Saleh with Raheem Morris, who was formerly the Atlanta Falcons head coach and a colossal failure. But he does have a good track record as a defensive coordinator, so I do like the hire there. This hire is kind of a funny hire. Mike LaFleur, brother of Matt LaFleur, is going to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. To me, this is interesting. It's like, okay, you got You got your offensive head coach. Now, he's been hired by Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. He was an offensive coordinator for Robert Salah when, they were with the Jets. I don't know if he necessarily has the track record. I mean, yeah, the Rams were good this year. He was not a play caller. I'm sure he did help design plays and that sort of thing. But they had a lot of talent to work with. He's kind of coming into a situation that's going to be incredibly hard. They don't necessarily trust Kyler Murray. In fact, I think Kyler Murray might have got benched last year for Jacoby Brissett. I don't think there was an injury on a lot of those benchings. So I'm just confused what they're going to do in terms of a quarterback for this head coach to groom. Maybe they are looking at it like, okay, this is going to be a year where we just fucking tank and then grab a quarterback, the year after. But with this transfer portal shit that's going on in college, it's not a guarantee that some of the guys that you expect to come out are going to come out. It happened with that Dan Moore guy this year, you know what I mean? So I'd say a questionable hire for sure. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad hire. I mean, it's a young offensive mind. Obviously, McVay and Shanahan like him. But it's a questionable hire, and I just wonder if it's because nobody wants to be a fucking head coach for the Arizona Cardinals. That's my... Yeah, he might have been the only one who would accept the job, as the Platinum Wrench is saying. I agree with you there. It's highly possible. Just nobody wanted him, wanted that gig. It's going to be a hard gig. Still going to have a lot of growing pain, is all I got to say there. Just interested to see, because, they've been a disaster for a while. I think they fired their GM as well, which is probably a good thing, but usually when these problems are recurrent, like, say, the Oakland Raiders, etc., it's usually there's a problem at the top, and the people at the top are not going to be like, yeah, take control of my franchise. There's a reason, these teams stay shitty for an incredibly long time. And this does mean that Clint Kubiak will be leaving Seattle for the Oakland Raiders after the Super Bowl. Clint Kubiak, of course, is the son of, was it Gary Kubiak? Was it Gary Kubiak back in the day, Houston? I think it was Gary Kubiak. Yeah, it was Gary Kubiak. I used to like him. I thought he was a pretty good offensive coach back in the day. I actually used to like when him and Matt Schwab were together. I used to really like him. I thought he was a good coach. So, I mean, younger coach that they're going to get. He does have the ability here of having the first overall pick. So he is going to get to pick a quarterback that, he's going to ride or die with, essentially. But by the sounds of it, the quarterback is pretty damn good. And I think that the fact that Max Crosby earlier today basically didn't demand a trade or anything like that, but says he wants to play for a contender, pretty much means Max Crosby's probably going to get traded in the offseason, I would think. And I think that they should trade Max Crosby and honor that, because you could get a lot of building pieces. You can turn things around pretty damn quick. I mean, look at some of these trades that like Houston made. The Lions, when they made that big trade, trading, Stafford away. They definitely won that trade. So I think Max Crosby, that would be my number one goal, would be to trade him if I was the Raiders GM. Do I necessarily trust that the Raiders are going to do the right thing? Absolutely not. But get more draft capital. Get some financial flexibility. You guys know you're not going to make it this year. Add more picks. Build an offensive line. That should be your number one goal. You've already got a great running back, so you do have a little bit of talent. I'd also think they're going to want to add some offensive weapons as well. But you can't have it all in one offseason when you've got as many needs as the Raiders do. So accumulate draft picks and do it the old-fashioned way. But yeah. One interesting note, we remember that Vikings GM we were talking about the other night that got fired? Apparently he used PFF when it came to drafting players. And he was a colossal bust at drafting. I don't think he had drafted like one Pro Bowler in his 4-year career. So kind of funny. The guy's actually using PFF as like a guide. Like, if that's what you're gonna be doing, I don't think you really know football. I mean, a lot of us use it because we don't have the opportunity to sit down for fucking 12 or 15 hours a day and watch the tape of these guys. You know what I mean? So we can't really grade them with our eyes as much. We just don't have the fucking time. Or, really, why would we? We're like fans of the sport. We're not just fucking coaches and that sort of thing. Just interesting. You're just going by fucking PFF grades and you think you can be a GM. Unbelievable. But I think that's it for today. We will be streaming tomorrow at 5 Eastern Standard Time with Indie Game Cloud. I believe we'll be continuing with Valheim. And as you can see, I cultivated the shit out of that game today. I absolutely carved it up like Razor Ramon. That's how fucking good I was at cultivating. But until next time, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. And Sage, break another Thunder Bomb tomorrow. But do it when we're on here, not on the video gaming channel, okay? You got to pick your shots for when you're going to be dropping these bombs, okay? All right. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow.